Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Science Society. I'm so glad you found your way here tonight. Maybe you've had one of those days where your mind just won't quiet down. Or perhaps you're the kind of person who loves drifting off to the gentle rhythm of wonder and discovery. Either way, you're in the right place. Tonight's journey takes us beneath the waves, into a world that has existed longer than almost anything else on Earth. We're diving into the secret life of jellyfish, those ghostly drifters that pulse through our oceans like living poetry. And before we begin, if these calm explorations help you unwind at the end of your day, I'd really appreciate it if you'd consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. It helps other sleepy souls find their way here too, one peaceful night at a time. Now, settle in. Let your shoulders drop, your breathing slow, and imagine yourself floating weightlessly in a vast, dark ocean. Because tonight, we're meeting some of the most ancient, most alien, and most quietly extraordinary creatures on our planet. The ancient ones, jellyfish, have been drifting through Earth's oceans for more than 500 million years. To put that into perspective, they were here before the dinosaurs walked the land. They were here before trees grew tall enough to cast shadows. They were here before most of the life we recognize today even began to take shape. In fact, jellyfish are among the oldest multi-organ animals to ever exist, witnesses to almost the entire story of complex life on Earth. 500 million years is almost incomprehensible when you really sit with it. Imagine all of recorded human history, every empire that has risen and fallen, every discovery we've made, every song we've sung. Now, multiply that span of time by thousands upon thousands. That's how long jellyfish have been here, pulsing through the currents, surviving, adapting, enduring. They have survived all 5 of Earth's mass extinction events. Think about that for a moment. 5 separate times in Earth's history, catastrophic events wiped out the majority of life on the planet. The Great Dying, also known as the Permian-Triassic extinction, eliminated 70% of all terrestrial life and 96% of all marine species. The oceans became graveyards. The air turned toxic. The world, for a time, seemed to be ending. And yet, jellyfish persisted. They drifted through those dying seas and emerged on the other side, continuing their eternal dance through the water. How did they manage this? How did these delicate, translucent creatures outlast armored trilobites, massive marine reptiles, and countless other species that seemed far more robust? The answer lies partly in their remarkable simplicity, and partly in their incredible adaptability. While other creatures were specialized for specific environments and conditions, jellyfish remained flexible, able to adjust to changing temperatures, varying oxygen levels, and shifting ocean chemistry. We know about their ancient existence not from traditional fossils, because jellyfish have no bones or hard parts to fossilize, but from something called soft fossils. These are impressions left in sediment, shadows of bodies quickly buried before they could decay entirely. Some research suggests they might be even older than 500 million years, possibly dating back 700 million years. If that's true, jellyfish were pulsing through the oceans when Earth was a very different planet. when life itself was still experimental, still finding its way. Today, over 2,000 species of jellyfish have been discovered and documented. But scientists believe there are likely thousands more waiting to be found, drifting in the unexplored depths of our oceans. Each one a variation on an ancient theme, each one perfectly adapted to its particular corner of the marine world. The paradox of simplicity. If you were to design a creature from scratch, starting with the most basic blueprint possible, you might end up with something very much like a jellyfish. They are studies in minimalism, proof that sometimes the simplest solutions are the most elegant. A jellyfish is made of about 95 to 98% water. Let that sink in for a moment. When you see a jellyfish pulsing gracefully through the ocean, you are essentially watching animated seawater, a living sculpture made from the same substance that surrounds it. This is why jellyfish look so different when they wash up on shore. Out of the water, they collapse into shapeless blobs because there's almost nothing solid to hold them up. They are creatures of the sea in the most literal sense, inseparable from their environment. They have no brain, no central processing unit analyzing information, making decisions, planning actions. Instead, they possess what's called a nerve net, an elementary nervous system that spreads throughout their body like a subtle web. This nerve net can detect light, sense vibrations in the water, pick up on chemicals released by prey or predators, and feel gravity's pull. It allows the jellyfish to navigate, to hunt, to respond to their environment, all without anything resembling conscious thought. It's a distributed intelligence, a body that knows what to do without needing to think about it. They have no blood, because they don't need it. Blood serves to transport oxygen and nutrients throughout a body, but jellyfish absorb oxygen directly through their thin, gelatinous skin. The ocean water passes right through them, delivering what they need, carrying away what they don't. It's an elegant solution, one that eliminates the need for complex circulatory systems. They have no heart for the same reason. No pump is needed when your entire body is permeable to the fluid you live in. They are in constant, direct contact with their environment at the cellular level, something most creatures gave up long ago in favor of more protected, more isolated internal systems. They have no lungs, no gills, no respiratory organs of any kind. Again, they simply absorb oxygen from the water through their skin as they drift. It's passive, effortless, as natural as breathing should be. And remarkably, they have no bones or hard structures of any kind. Their body is composed of just 3 layers. The outer layer, called the epidermis, forms the outer skin. The inner layer, called the gastrodermis, lines the digestive cavity. And between these 2 thin layers lies the mesoglia, a thick, jelly-like substance that gives jellyfish their gelatinous texture and their name. This mesoglia is mostly water with a smattering of structural proteins and cells, but it's enough to give the jellyfish form, to provide a canvas for their simple anatomy. Their digestive system is almost comically basic. They have a single opening that serves as both mouth and anus. Food goes in, waste goes out, all through the same orifice. Inside, a simple gastric cavity breaks it down to prey and absorbs nutrients. It works quickly too, because a drifting jellyfish can't afford to carry around a heavy, undigested meal. They process food with remarkable efficiency, extracting what they need and expelling the rest, maintaining their near weightless existence. Yet despite this radical simplicity, or perhaps because of it, jellyfish are remarkably successful. They thrive in every ocean on Earth, from warm tropical shallows to frigid polar waters, from sunlit surface waters to the crushing darkness of the deep sea. They've colonized coastal regions and open oceans alike. Their simplicity hasn't held them back. If anything, it's set them free. There's something almost philosophical about the jellyfish's design. In a world that often seems to reward complexity, where evolution tends to add features and refinements over time, jellyfish stand as a reminder that sometimes less truly is more. They have survived 500 million years without brains, without blood, without most of the things we associate with animal life. They remind us that sophistication and complexity aren't the same thing, that elegance can be found in simplicity, that success doesn't always require elaboration. The Wheel of Life. The life cycle of a jellyfish is a thing of wonder, a journey through multiple forms that seems more like magic than biology. It's a story of transformation that rivals the metamorphosis of butterflies, though it happens largely unseen beneath the waves. It begins with a tiny planula larva. So small you could barely see it with the naked eye, just a microscopic speck drifting in the current. This larva is covered in tiny hairs called cilia that beat rhythmically, propelling it through the water. It swims, or rather drifts with purpose, until it finds something solid, a rock, a piece of coral, the hull of a boat, anything it can attach itself to. Once the planula finds its anchor point, it settles down and begins to transform. It develops a foot-like base that cements it to the surface, and its body elongates, becoming tubular. A ring of tentacles sprouts from what will become its top end, waving gently in the current. This is the polyp stage, and it looks nothing like the jellyfish we picture in our minds. Instead, it resembles a tiny sea anemone, a stationary filter feeder that catches passing plankton with its tentacles. But here's where things get interesting. This polyp can stay in this form for months or even years, quietly feeding and growing. And during this time, it can reproduce asexually, budding off genetic copies of itself that drift away and settle nearby, forming colonies of genetically identical polyps. It's a form of immortality, in a sense, creating copies of yourself that live on independently, spreading across the seafloor like a slow-motion garden. When conditions are right, when the water temperature rises or food becomes abundant or some environmental trigger occurs, the polyp undergoes another transformation. It begins to segment, its body dividing into horizontal sections like a stack of dishes. These sections are called ephyra, baby jellyfish that look like tiny snowflakes with 8 arms. One by one, starting from the top, these ephyrae break free and swim away, leaving the polyp behind to continue producing more. The ephyra drifts into the open water and begins the final transformation into an adult medusa, the classic bell-shaped jellyfish we all recognize. Its arms lengthen into tentacles. Its body swells and becomes more rounded. It develops the graceful pulsing motion that propels it through the water. And As it grows, it begins to hunt, trailing its tentacles like fishing lines, capturing prey that ventures too close. As adults, jellyfish reproduce sexually. Males release a sperm into the water, which females draw in through their mouths. In many species, the fertilized eggs develop inside the female's body, protected until they become planula larvae ready to begin the cycle anew. Some species brood their young in pouches on their oral arms, those thick appendages around their mouth. Others release eggs and sperm into the water where fertilization happens by chance, a lottery of reproduction in the vast ocean. Some jellyfish can live for just a few hours as adults, completing their entire life cycle in a brief burst. Others, like the lion's mane jellyfish, can live for several years, growing larger all the while, their tentacles stretching out behind them like flowing capes. The variation is enormous, each species adapted to its particular niche, its particular strategy for survival. But perhaps the most remarkable thing about the jellyfish life cycle is its flexibility. Many jellyfish can switch between sexual and asexual reproduction depending on conditions. The poly-P stage can persist for years, waiting patiently for the right moment to release ephyrae. Some polyps can even regenerate if damaged, regrowing lost parts with casual ease. It's a life. It's a cycle designed for resilience, for adaptation, for riding out whatever the ocean throws at them. In some species, when the adult medusa dies and sinks to the bottom, its remains can give rise to new polyps, continuing the cycle in a different way. In others, stressed polyps can reabsorb their tentacles and go dormant, waiting months or years for conditions to improve before resuming their activities. The jellyfish life cycle isn't a rigid sequence but a flexible strategy, a set of options that the animal can deploy as circumstances demand. This ability to transform, to shift between forms, to reproduce in multiple ways, has served jellyfish well across the eons. While other animals are locked into single-life strategies, jellyfish have options. They can adapt to changing conditions in real time, switching tactics midstream if necessary. It's this flexibility, combined with their basic simplicity, that has allowed them to persist while countless other lineages have vanished into extinction. The jellyfish that cheats death. Among the thousands of jellyfish species that drift through our oceans, one stands apart, possessing an ability so remarkable it seems to violate the fundamental rules of biology. Its name is Turritopsis dohrnii, though most people know it by its more dramatic title, the immortal jellyfish. This tiny creature, with a bell barely a few millimeters across, no larger than a pinky fingernail, has discovered something that has eluded every other complex animal on Earth. It has learned, under certain conditions, how to reverse its aging process and start life over again. It can, quite literally, grow young. Here's how it works. When an adult Turritopsis dohrnii jellyfish encounters stress, be it injury, starvation, disease, or simply old age, something extraordinary happens. Instead of dying, it sinks to the ocean floor and undergoes a transformation that defies our usual understanding of animal development. Its bell reabsorbs, its tentacles retract, and its body transforms back into a polyp, the juvenile stage that should have been left behind forever. This process is called transdifferentiation, and it's almost unheard of in the animal kingdom. Transdifferentiation means that specialized cells that have already committed to being one type of tissue, can transform into completely different types. A cell that was part of the jellyfish's digestive system might become part of its nervous system in the polyp form. A cell from its swimming bell might transform into a tentacle cell. The entire animal reorganizes itself at the cellular level, reprogramming its own body to return to youth. Once the transformation is complete, the polyp begins growing and can eventually produce new ephyrae, which grow into new adult jellyfish. These new jellyfish are genetically identical to the original, clones reborn from a body that should have perished. And if those jellyfish encounter stress again, they too can revert to polyps and restart the cycle. Theoretically, this process could continue indefinitely. A single Turritopsis dohrnii could live forever, dying and being reborn in an endless loop, a biological phoenix rising from its own ashes over and over. Scientists studying these remarkable creatures have found that they maintain their telomeres, the protective caps on the ends of chromosomes that typically shorten as we age, through specific cellular processes. During their life cycle reversal, they essentially reset the cellular clock, restoring their cells to a younger state. It's a form of biological time travel, moving backward through development in ways that should be impossible. In captivity, researchers have documented these jellyfish undergoing this transformation multiple times. One scientist in Japan, Shin Kubota, managed to keep a colony of immortal jellyfish for over 2 years and observed them rebirthing themselves 11 times. Each time, they cycled from adult back to polyp, then from polyp to ephyra to adult again, retracing their developmental steps like a video playing in reverse before starting over. But before we get too excited about the implications for human longevity, it's important to understand the limits of this immortality. It's theoretical immortality, not practical immortality. In the wild, Turritopsis dohrnii faces all the usual dangers that jellyfish encounter. Predators that eat them before they can transform, diseases that kill them too quickly for the reversal process to begin, environmental conditions that aren't quite right for survival. A sea turtle doesn't care that its jellyfish snack is theoretically immortal. A bacterial infection doesn't pause to allow transdifferentiation to occur. In laboratory conditions, where these threats are removed, Turritopsis dohrnii can indeed cycle indefinitely. But in the ocean, most individuals likely live just a few weeks or months, like any other small jellyfish, before meeting an untimely end. Their immortality is a potential, a capability, a last-ditch survival mechanism, rather than a guarantee of eternal life. Still, the discovery has profound implications for science. By studying how these jellyfish reverse their cellular aging, researchers hope to understand the fundamental mechanisms of aging itself. Could we learn to regenerate damaged tissues by understanding transdifferentiation? Could we find ways to reset our own cellular clocks? The immortal jellyfish might hold clues to treating age-related diseases, to understanding cancer, to unlocking the secrets of regeneration. There is something almost philosophical about Turritopsis dohrney's ability. In a universe where entropy always increases, where time moves in only one direction, where all things eventually wear down and fall apart, this tiny jellyfish has found a loophole. It reminds us that nature is endlessly creative, that evolution can discover solutions we never imagined, that the boundaries we think are absolute might be more permeable than we assume. And there's a kind of poetry to it too. This smallest of jellies, this fragile creature made mostly of water, carries within it the potential for something humans have dreamed about since we first became aware of our own mortality. Not by fighting death directly, not by armoring itself against harm, but by surrendering to change, by letting go of its current form and embracing transformation. Perhaps there's a lesson there, something about the wisdom of letting go, of accepting change, of trusting in renewal. Light in the darkness. If you could dive deep into the ocean on a moonless night, far from any shore, you would find yourself in absolute darkness. No sunlight penetrates these depths, and the water is so clear and so empty that even starlight from above fades to nothing. It would be the darkest place you could imagine, a void so complete that your eyes would strain for any hint of light and find nothing. But then, if you watched long enough, you would begin to see them. Tiny sparks of blue-green light flickering in the darkness. Glowing trails that trace mysterious patterns through the water. Pulsing rings of light that appear and disappear like cosmic beacons. Welcome to the bioluminescent world of jellyfish, where darkness is not empty, but filled with a secret constellation of living light. About half of all jellyfish species are bioluminescent, meaning they can produce their own light through chemical reactions within their bodies. This ability is especially common in deep-sea species, where darkness is total and perpetual. In these sunless depths, bioluminescence isn't rare or exotic. It's simply how life communicates, hunts, and survives. The mechanism behind this living light involves two key components: a light-producing molecule called luciferin and an enzyme called luciferase. When luciferin reacts with oxygen in the presence of luciferase, it produces oxyluciferin and releases energy in the form of light. It's the same basic process that fireflies use on land, though jellyfish have evolved it independently, arriving at the same elegant solution through different evolutionary paths. This light is cold, producing almost no heat, which is why it's sometimes called cold light. All the energy goes into producing photons rather than warming up. It's remarkably efficient, far more so than any light bulb humans have ever invented. And jellyfish can control it with precision, turning it on and off, brightening and dimming, creating patterns and sequences that serve various purposes. Most commonly, jellyfish use bioluminescence as a defense mechanism. When attacked by a predator, many species will suddenly flash with bright light, a startling display that can confuse or startle the attacker long enough for the jellyfish to escape. It's like setting off a flashbulb in the face of someone attacking you in the dark, a momentary blindness that provides an opportunity to flee. Some jellyfish produce a continuous glow that makes them visible in the darkness. This seems counterintuitive as a defense mechanism, but it works through a clever principle called counter-illumination. Many predators hunt by looking upward, spotting the silhouettes of prey against the faint light filtering down from the surface. But if a jellyfish glows on its underside, matching the intensity and color of the downwelling light, it effectively erases its shadow. It becomes invisible, hidden not by darkness, but by matching the brightness of its background. Other species use bioluminescence offensively as a lure to attract prey. Deep-sea jellyfish dangle glowing tentacles in the water like fishing lines with luminous bait. Small fish, curious or hungry, swim closer to investigate the light and find themselves within striking distance of stinging tentacles. It's a trap of light, deadly and beautiful in equal measure. Perhaps the most famous bioluminescent jellyfish is Atolla wyvele, known as the alarm jellyfish. This deep-sea species has developed a particularly dramatic defensive display. When attacked, it produces a series of bright blue flashes that propagate outward in expanding rings, like a living emergency beacon. These flashes aren't meant to startle the predator directly. Instead, they're calling for help, attracting larger predators that might prey on whatever is attacking the jellyfish. It's the marine equivalent of pulling a fire alarm, hoping that the commotion will bring someone bigger to deal with the problem. This behavior has proven so effective that scientists have created artificial versions called e-jellies, electronic devices that mimic the atolla's distress signals. Marine biologist Edith Witter used an e-jelly to attract one of the ocean's most elusive creatures, the giant squid. For decades, giant squids had never been filmed alive in their natural habitat. But by deploying an e-jelly and waiting in the darkness, Witter's team successfully lured a giant squid into camera range, drawn by the promise of an easy meal. The jellyfish's light had become a key that unlocked one of the ocean's greatest mysteries. Some jellyfish don't produce their own light through bioluminescence, but instead use biofluorescence, absorbing blue light and re-emitting it as green, yellow, or even red. The most famous example of this is the green fluorescent protein, or GFP, found in a jellyfish called Equorea victoria. This protein has revolutionized biological research. Scientists can attach GFP to other genes and watch those genes express themselves in living cells, literally lighting up when and where specific biological processes occur. It's allowed researchers to watch cells divide, observe protein production in real time, track the spread of diseases, and visualize processes that were previously invisible. 3 scientists won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 2008 for their work developing GFP as a research tool, and it all came from studying jellyfish that glow in the dark. There are rare species that produce red bioluminescence, which is extremely unusual in the deep sea. Most deep-sea animals can't see red light at all, which makes these red glowing jellyfish especially mysterious. One theory suggests that they use red light to illuminate their prey without being seen, like having night vision goggles in a world where everyone else is blind to that particular color. It's a private channel of communication, visible only to those who have evolved to see it. The light shows in the deep ocean are spectacular beyond description. Jellyfish pulse with electric blue glows, their bells outlined in light as they swim. Tentacles trail behind them like strings of luminous pearls. Some species create spiraling light patterns as they swim, leaving glowing signatures in the water. Others release glowing mucus when threatened, creating clouds of light that stick to predators and make them visible to their own enemies. It's a world where light is language, where visibility is a weapon, where darkness and brilliance play an eternal game. And these displays happen in near total darkness, witnessed by no human eyes. Performances that play out in the deepest parts of the ocean with no audience but the creatures involved. It's humbling to think about. All this beauty, all this complexity, all this light in the darkness, existing completely independent of human observation, playing out according to rules refined over millions of years. An ocean full of variety. When most people think of jellyfish, they picture a simple bell-shaped body with trailing tentacles, translucent and delicate, drifting on ocean currents. But the reality is far more diverse, far stranger, and far more wonderful than that simple image suggests. The jellyfish family is vast and varied, with over 2,000 known species and likely thousands more waiting to be discovered in the unexplored depths. Let's start with size, because the range is staggering. The smallest jellyfish are so tiny they're almost invisible, measuring just a few millimeters across. The irukandji jellyfish, one of the world's most venomous creatures, has a bell only about a cubic centimeter in volume, roughly the size of a fingernail. You could easily swim past one without ever noticing it, at least until you felt its incredibly painful sting. At the other end of the spectrum are giants that dwarf most sea creatures. The lion's mane jellyfish, Cyanea capillata, can grow to truly spectacular sizes. The largest recorded specimen had a bell over 2 meters in diameter, more than 6 feet across, and tentacles that stretched out to an almost unbelievable 36 meters, longer than a blue whale. Imagine encountering one of these massive creatures while diving. A living curtain of tentacles filling the water around you like some alien spacecraft from a science fiction film. Between these extremes lies every size imaginable. Some jellyfish are the size of a button, others the size of a dinner plate, still others the size of a beach ball. Each species has evolved to fit its particular ecological niche, its size optimized for its hunting strategy, its environment, its life cycle. The shapes vary just as dramatically. While many jellyfish do have the classic dome or bell shape, others are flatter, looking more like floating discs. Some are elongated, almost torpedo-shaped. Box jellyfish, which are technically in a different class but still called jellyfish, have square bells when viewed from above, giving them their name. They're also among the only jellyfish with true eyes, complex visual organs with lenses and retinas that can actually form images, allowing them to navigate with far more precision than most jellyfish. These box jellies aren't just passively drifting either. While most jellyfish are at the mercy of currents, box jellyfish can swim actively, pulsing their bells rapidly and moving at speeds up to 6 meters per minute. They use their sophisticated eyes to navigate around obstacles, to pursue prey, to avoid predators. They're the jet fighters of the jellyfish world, precise and purposeful in their movements. Color is another area of remarkable diversity. Many jellyfish are nearly transparent, invisible ghosts drifting through the water. This transparency is camouflage in the open ocean, making them hard to spot for both predators and prey. But others are vividly colored. The fried egg jellyfish, Cotyloorhiza tuberculata, has a bright yellow dome that really does look like an egg yolk floating in the water. Moon jellyfish have delicate purple or pink horseshoe-shaped markings, where their gonads are visible through their translucent bells. Some deep-sea species are deep red or burgundy, a color that appears black in the blue filtered light of the depths, rendering them nearly invisible. Tentacle arrangements vary wildly, too. Some jellyfish have just a few thick tentacles. Others have hundreds or even thousands of fine, thread-like tentacles trailing behind them. Box jellyfish have their tentacles arranged in clusters at the corners of their bells, looking almost architectural in their organization. Some jellyfish arrange their tentacles in spirals, creating helical patterns as they swim that help them capture prey more efficiently. Others simply drag their tentacles behind them like fishing nets, passively collecting whatever blunders into them. The oral arms, those thicker appendages around the mouth, also vary. Some jellyfish have simple, short oral arms. Others have incredibly elaborate oral arms with frills and folds that look like ornate curtains. These structures increase the surface area available for capturing and digesting prey, turning the jellyfish into a more efficient filter feeder. Some jellyfish have symbiotic relationships with other organisms. Certain species host photosynthetic algae in their tissues, just like corals do. These algae produce food for the jellyfish through photosynthesis, while receiving protection and nutrients in return. These jellyfish spend their time pulsing gently in shallow, sunny waters, positioning themselves to maximize light exposure for their algal partners. They're part animal, part living greenhouse. There are even jellyfish that barely look like jellyfish at all. Stalked jellyfish, or Stauromedusae, don't swim but instead attach to rocks or seaweed and wait for food to drift by. They look more like small anemones than what we think of as jellyfish, but they're part of the same family, another branch on the diverse jellyfish tree. In the deepest parts of the ocean, jellyfish take on especially alien forms. There's Stygiomedusa gigantea, a giant jellyfish that has only been spotted about 118 times despite being common worldwide. It has no tentacles at all, but instead possesses 4 enormous arms, up to 10 meters long, that it uses to capture prey. The arms have a solid, almost muscular appearance, unlike the delicate tentacles we associate with jellyfish. Encountering one in the deep would be like meeting something from another world, which, in a sense, it is. The deep sea also hosts jellyfish with complex, intricate structures. The Chrysota genus includes species with multiple sets of tentacles of different lengths, arranged in geometric patterns. They hang motionless in the water with their tentacles spread in perfect radial symmetry, ambush predators waiting for something to swim into their trap. When viewed from remotely operated submarines, they look almost crystalline, alien structures glowing faintly in the darkness. This diversity isn't random. Each variation represents millions of years of evolution, of adaptation to specific environments and conditions. The tiny irukandji is small because it hunts tiny prey in reef environments where agility matters more than size. The giant lion's mane is huge because it hunts in cold waters, where larger body size helps it maintain its metabolic processes. Box jellyfish have eyes because they live in shallow waters with obstacles that need to be avoided. Deep-sea species are often red because it makes them invisible in the filtered light of the abyss. And we're still discovering new species regularly. Every deep-sea expedition seems to bring back footage or samples of jellyfish never seen before, each one expanding our understanding of what's possible in this ancient lineage. The ocean is vast, mostly unexplored, and almost certainly contains thousands of jellyfish species we've never encountered. They're out there right now, drifting in their particular corners of the sea, living their strange and wonderful lives, waiting for us to find them. Beautiful and deadly. For all their grace and ethereal beauty, many jellyfish are equipped with one of nature's most sophisticated and deadly weapon systems. Their tentacles are lined with specialized cells called nematocysts, tiny biological harpoons that can fire faster than almost anything else in nature. Underhanding these weapons helps us appreciate both the danger and the extraordinary evolution that created them. Each nematocyst is a cell containing a coiled thread, often barbed or hooked, bathed in venom. The cell is pressurized, like a loaded spring waiting to be released. On the outside of the cell is a trigger mechanism, a tiny, hair-like structure called a nidocle. When something brushes against this trigger, perhaps a small fish swimming too close, the nematocyst fires. And when I say fires, I mean it happens almost incomprehensibly fast. The nematocyst can discharge in just 700 nanoseconds. That's 700 billionths of a second. It's one of the fastest cellular processes in all of nature, faster than a bullet leaving a gun, faster than you can blink, faster than nerve signals can travel. One moment the tentacle looks harmless. The next moment, thousands of tiny harpoons have pierced the skin of anything touching it, injecting venom deep into tissue. The mechanism is purely mechanical, not controlled by any nervous system. It's so fast that no biological signal could trigger it in time. Instead, it works through physics. The pressurized cell has a trapdoor that's held shut by specialized proteins. When the trigger is touched, these proteins change shape instantly. The door flies open, and the pressure inside the cell forces the coiled thread to evert, turning inside out like a glove being pulled off a hand. The thread shoots outward, pierces whatever it hits, and injects its venom, all in less than a microsecond. Each tentacle contains millions of these nematocysts, and they can fire independently or in coordinated waves. Touch a tentacle, and you might be hit by thousands or even millions of individual stinging cells simultaneously. It's a carpet-bombing approach to hunting, overwhelming prey with sheer numbers. The venom varies dramatically between species, each one fine-tuned to the jellyfish's particular prey and environment. Some venoms are relatively mild to humans, causing nothing more than a temporary rash and some itching. The moon jellyfish, one of the most common species in coastal waters, has such mild venom that many people can handle them without feeling any sting at all, though it's still not recommended. But other species have venom that ranks among the most toxic substances known to biology. Box jellyfish, particularly the sea wasp, Chironex fleckeri, found in Australian waters, has venom so potent that it can kill a human in minutes. The venom attacks the heart, the nervous system, and the skin simultaneously. Victims experience agonizing pain, described as being branded by a hot iron across large portions of their body. Their blood pressure spikes, their heart rhythm becomes chaotic, and if enough venom enters their system, they go into cardiac arrest. Jellyfish kill 20 to 40 people per year in the Philippines alone, and many more worldwide. Most of these deaths come from box jellyfish species. In Australia, more people die from jellyfish stings than from shark attacks, crocodile attacks, and spider bites combined. And yet, box jellyfish remain largely unknown to most people. Swimming invisibly in shallow coastal waters, their near transparency making them almost impossible to spot until it's too late. The irukandji jellyfish, while tiny, produces what's called irukandji syndrome when it stings. Victims initially might not even realize they've been stung, but 15 to 30 minutes later, they develop severe lower back pain, muscle cramps, nausea, and an overwhelming sense of doom. Their blood pressure shoots up so high that victims have suffered brain hemorrhages and heart attacks. The pain is so intense that victims beg for death, anything to make it stop. And there's no anti-venom, just supportive care and pain management until the venom works its way out of the system, which can take days. Recently, scientists discovered that one species, Cassiopeia zamacana, can release tiny balls of cells called cassiosums that swim around on their own, stinging everything they encounter. They're like self-propelling microscopic grenades, extending the jellyfish's reach far beyond its tentacles. A person can be stung without ever actually touching the jellyfish itself, hit by these autonomous weapons drifting through the water. Not all jellyfish venom affects humans seriously, though. Most species have venom designed for small prey, fish larvae, tiny crustaceans, and other plankton. These venoms are potent enough to paralyze or kill their intended targets, but barely register to a large mammal like a human. The variation is enormous, from nearly harmless to almost instantly lethal, each species carrying venom calibrated to its lifestyle. Researchers have been working on antivenoms and treatments for jellyfish stings. For box jellyfish, scientists in Australia have developed an antivenom that can block some effects of the venom if administered quickly enough. They've also discovered that the venom works partly by attacking cell membranes, and that certain compounds can stabilize these membranes and reduce the damage. Vinegar, readily available on most Australian beaches, can deactivate unfired nematocysts, preventing further stings if applied immediately. There's ongoing research into exactly how these venoms work, their chemical compositions, and their effects on various biological systems. Some of these venoms contain dozens of different toxins, each targeting different aspects of prey physiology. Understanding them might lead to new medicines. After all, many of our most useful drugs come from natural toxins that have been modified for therapeutic purposes. Perhaps one day, jellyfish venom components might treat heart conditions, neurological disorders, or other medical problems. But even as we study them, even as we develop treatments, the fundamental fact remains. Jellyfish are predators, equipped with weapons that have been perfected over hundreds of millions of years. Their beauty hides danger. Their grace conceals lethal capability. They remind us that nature isn't always gentle, that some of its most delicate creations are also among its most deadly, that survival in the ocean requires both elegance and lethality in equal measure. Hunters in the open water jellyfish might drift passively on currents, but they're far from helpless flotsam. They're sophisticated predators with hunting strategies refined over hundreds of millions of years. Understanding how they feed reveals just how successful their apparently simple approach to life really is. Most jellyfish are carnivores, hunting other animals rather than filtering phytoplankton like some might assume. They eat copepods, tiny crustaceans that swarm through the ocean in the trillions. They catch fish larvae, the vulnerable babies of other species drifting in the plankton before they grow large enough to swim purposefully. They capture other jellyfish, smaller than themselves, adding their gelatinous bodies to their own bulk. Some species eat shrimp, crab larvae, mollusks, and essentially anything small enough to catch and swallow. Their hunting strategy is elegantly simple. Spread a trap and wait. Those trailing tentacles aren't just decorative, they're fishing lines bristling with nematocysts, drifting through the water and covering as much area as possible. Anything that touches them gets stung, paralyzed, and drawn toward the jellyfish's mouth. But there is more sophistication here than first appears. Some jellyfish arrange their tentacles in specific patterns to maximize catches. They form spirals, helical structures that create turbulence in the water, funneling prey toward their tentacles as they swim. It's passive, but it's also calculated, increasing the odds of an encounter. Box jellyfish, with their active swimming and actual eyes, hunt more deliberately. They can see their prey, track it, pursue it. They've been observed following small fish, adjusting their course to intercept, behaving more like traditional predators than the passive drift hunters we usually associate with jellyfish. Their speed allows them to close distances, and their venom works so quickly that prey often doesn't escape after being stung. The Cassiopeia jellyfish, often called upside-down jellyfish, have evolved a completely different strategy. They lie on the seafloor with their bell facing downward and their oral arms facing upward toward the light. Their arms host symbiotic algae that need sunlight to photosynthesize, so the jellyfish spend their time pulsing gently to keep water flowing over their surfaces, farming their internal gardens while also capturing passing prey with their arms. Once prey is caught and paralyzed, the jellyfish uses its oral arms to manipulate the food toward its mouth. These arms, with their frilled and folded surfaces, also begin digesting the prey externally, secreting enzymes that start breaking down tissues before the food even enters the gastric cavity. It's a kind of pre-digestion that makes the jellyfish's internal processing more efficient. Inside the gastric cavity, digestion continues. Enzymes break down proteins, fats, and other biological molecules. The jellyfish absorbs nutrients through the gastrodermis, the inner cell layer. What can't be digested, the hard parts, the shells, the undigestible materials, get expelled back out through the mouth, the only opening the jellyfish has. This digestion happens quickly. Jellyfish can't afford to carry heavy meals around as they drift. Their buoyancy depends on maintaining that 95% water composition, so they process food rapidly, extracting what they need and discarding the rest. A jellyfish can consume and digest a meal in just a few hours, ready to hunt again. Some jellyfish are specialists, targeting specific prey. Others are generalists, eating whatever they happen to encounter. The diversity of their diets reflects the diversity of the oceans themselves. In nutrient-rich coastal waters, jellyfish might gorge on abundant prey. In the open ocean, where food is scarcer, they might go days between meals, conserving energy, drifting in a kind of low-power mode until prey appears. Jellyfish populations can have enormous impacts on marine ecosystems. When conditions are right and jellyfish become abundant, they can consume vast quantities of fish eggs and larvae, potentially reducing fish populations. There have been cases where jellyfish blooms have devastated fisheries by eating the juvenile fish that would have grown into the next generation. In 2007, a massive bloom of mauve stinger jellyfish invaded a salmon farm in Northern Ireland and killed about 100,000 fish, causing millions of dollars in damage. The jellyfish simply appeared in overwhelming numbers and stung everything they encountered. But jellyfish are also prey themselves. Sea turtles, particularly leatherback turtles, feed almost exclusively on jellyfish, consuming massive quantities to fuel their huge bodies. Sunfish, those strange circular fish that look like swimming heads, also eat jellyfish as a primary food source. Some species of seabirds dive to catch jellyfish near the surface. Even other jellyfish prey on their smaller cousins, maintaining a kind of pecking order in the gelatinous world. The role jellyfish play in ocean food webs is complex and still being understood. They're both predator and prey, both competitor with fish for food and food for larger animals. They consume nutrients that might otherwise support other species, but they also convert those nutrients into a form that their predators can use. They're connectors in the web, linking different levels of the food chain. In recent decades, jellyfish populations have been increasing in many parts of the world. Overfishing removes the fish that compete with jellyfish for food and the fish that prey on juvenile jellyfish. Pollution and coastal development create ideal habitat for polyps, the stationary stage of the jellyfish life cycle. Climate change warms the water, which many jellyfish species tolerate better than fish do. The result is more jellyfish, and in some regions, they're becoming the dominant predators, fundamentally changing the structure of ocean ecosystems. These changes raise questions about the future of our oceans. Will warming, overfished seas become jellyfish seas, dominated by these ancient drifters rather than fish? It's a possibility some scientists are seriously considering. But jellyfish have always been here, always been hunting, always been part of the ocean's story. Perhaps we're not seeing something new, but rather witnessing the ocean returning to an older configuration, one where jellyfish played a more central role. Mysteries of the deep. The deep sea, that vast region is below where sunlight penetrates, is the largest habitat on Earth, and also the least explored. And it's absolutely filled with jellyfish, species that have evolved to thrive in conditions that seem impossibly harsh, that would kill most surface-dwelling creatures in moments. Down here, the pressure is enormous, hundreds or thousands of times greater than at the surface. The water is near freezing, even in tropical latitudes. No light penetrates, creating absolute, eternal darkness. Food is scarce, drifting down from above in a slow rain of organic particles called marine snow. It would seem like the last place anything would want to live. And yet jellyfish thrive here, drifting through the darkness, glowing softly, hunting in ways we're only beginning to understand. The giant phantom jellyfish, Stygiomedusa gigantea, is one of the most spectacular deep-sea species, though it's only been seen a handful of times. It has a bell that can exceed 1 meter in diameter, and 4 thick, muscular arms that can stretch out to 10 meters in length, 33 feet of undulating appendage trailing behind the body. Instead of delicate tentacles, it has these massive arms that look almost solid, strong enough to capture and manipulate large prey. Researchers believe it probably feeds on other jellyfish and small fish, wrapping them in its arms rather than stinging them with tentacles. Despite its size, Stygiomedusa is rarely seen. It lives at depths of 2,000 to 6,000 feet in a zone humans rarely visit. The few encounters we've had came from remotely operated vehicles and deep-diving submersibles. Each sighting is an event, a glimpse of a creature that lives its entire life in a world we can barely reach. The Atala jellyfish, which we discussed earlier in terms of its bioluminescence, is relatively common in the deep sea, but it took decades of research to understand its behavior. These jellyfish pulse slowly through the darkness, their bells rimmed with tentacles, and one longer, trailing tentacle that they use like a fishing line. They're ambush predators, waiting for something to touch that long tentacle, then wrapping it around their victim while other tentacles move in to help. Crosota species hang motionless in the water with tentacles spread in perfect geometric arrays. They don't chase prey. They are the trap itself, living spider webs suspended in the darkness. Their bells are transparent, nearly invisible, so prey might not see them until it's too late, until it swims into the tentacles and triggers the nematocysts. Some Crosota species have been seen at depths exceeding 12,000 feet, deeper than most fish can survive, living in a realm of such extreme pressure that water itself becomes thicker, denser. There are jellyfish with elaborate shapes, with lobes and folds and structures we don't fully understand. Some have multiple swimming bells stacked like bowls within bowls. Others have filaments and appendages whose functions remain mysterious. Every deep-sea expedition brings back footage of species we've never seen before, each one stranger than the last. The deep sea is also home to jellyfish with unusual feeding strategies. The Arena siphonophore, related to the Portuguese man of war, has bioluminescent lures that glow red, one of the few animals to produce red bioluminescence. These lures are shaped and colored to look like small copepods, the tiny crustaceans that small fish love to eat. The jellyfish waves these fake copepods through the water, making them move realistically. And when a fish approaches to eat what it thinks is a copepod, it instead gets caught by the jellyfish's tentacles. It's mimicry at its finest, a predator imitating prey to lure in prey of its own. What's remarkable is that most deep-sea fish can't see red light. The wavelength doesn't penetrate far in water, and most animals have lost the ability to detect it. So why would a jellyfish use red bioluminescence? One theory is that some fish can still see it, that there are species we don't know about yet that have retained or even enhanced their sensitivity to red light precisely because nothing else uses it. The red glowing jellyfish might be communicating on a private channel, visible only to specific species, perhaps even to its own kind. It's speculation, but it highlights how much we still don't know about deep-sea ecosystems. Some deep-sea jellyfish have transparent bells with colored internal structures visible within them, looking almost like stained glass drifting through the darkness. These colors might serve as camouflage, breaking up the jellyfish's outline against the faint bioluminescence of other creatures. Or they might be involved in filtering light in ways we haven't yet figured out. The deep sea is so vast and so difficult to explore that we've likely only scratched the surface of jellyfish diversity down there. Every cubic meter of the deep ocean might contain species we've never seen, and we sample such a tiny fraction of that volume. The ocean is over 300 million cubic kilometers of water, and most of it is deep sea. We've explored less than 5% of it. The number of undiscovered jellyfish species could easily number in the thousands or tens of thousands. And they're not just hiding in the depths waiting to be found. They're living full, complex lives down there, hunting and reproducing and dying, filling ecological roles we can barely imagine. Some might be apex predators in their environment. Others might be the prey species that support food webs we know nothing about. The deep sea remains largely a mystery, and jellyfish are some of its most enigmatic inhabitants. Ancient food, modern science. Humans have been interacting with jellyfish for thousands of years, though our relationship with them is complex and multifaceted. In some cultures, they're food. In others, they're hazards to be avoided. And increasingly, they're becoming valuable to science in ways that are revolutionizing research. In China and some other Asian countries, jellyfish have been harvested and eaten for at least 1,700 years. The process of preparing them is elaborate. First, they're caught and pressed to remove excess water, reducing their weight by 90% or more. Then they're salted heavily and allowed to cure, which further dehydrates them and firms up their texture. What emerges is a rubbery, crunchy product that's rehydrated before eating and served in salads or other dishes. The jellyfish used for food come primarily from the order Rhizostomiae, which includes species with thick oral arms suitable for processing. They're harvested in massive quantities, hundreds of thousands of tons per year, making jellyfish fishing a significant industry in some regions. The prepared jellyfish is low in calories, high in protein, and contains collagen and other compounds that some believe have health benefits. Australian researchers have suggested that jellyfish could be a sustainable food source for the future. Unlike fish, jellyfish populations are actually increasing in many areas due to overfishing of their predators and climate change. They reproduce quickly, grow rapidly, and are not currently overexploited in most places. As traditional fisheries decline, jellyfish might become more important as a protein source, particularly if we can overcome the cultural resistance many people have to eating them. Beyond food, jellyfish provide collagen that's used in various medical and cosmetic applications. Jellyfish collagen is similar to human collagen in structure, making it useful for wound healing, tissue engineering, and as an ingredient in skincare products. It's being researched as a treatment for arthritis, as the collagen might help regenerate joint tissue. But perhaps the most significant contribution jellyfish have made to humanity is in the field of research, specifically through the green fluorescent protein, or GFP. This protein, isolated from the jellyfish Aquaria victoria, has become one of the most important tools in molecular biology. GFP glows bright green when exposed to blue or ultraviolet light. More importantly, the gene that produces GFP can be attached to other genes, creating a genetic marker that makes those genes visible. Scientists can insert GFP into bacteria, yeast, plants, or animal cells, and then track what happens to the cells by watching for the green glow. They can see when genes turn on or off, watch proteins move through cells, observe cancer spreading, track neural connections in the brain, all by following the green fluorescence. This technology has led to countless breakthroughs. Researchers have used GFP to watch individual neurons fire in living brains, to observe how organs develop in embryos, to track how cells migrate during wound healing, to see how cancer metastasizes. It's allowed real-time observation of biological processes that were previously invisible, turning cellular biology from a series of snapshots into a continuous movie. 3 scientists, Osamu Shimomura, Martin Chalfie, and Roger Tissien, were awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 2008 for their work developing GFP as a research tool. Shimomura originally discovered and isolated the protein from jellyfish in the 1960s. Chalfie demonstrated that GFP could be used in other organisms as a marker. Tien expanded the range of fluorescent proteins to include different colors, creating a palette of glowing tags. Together, their work transformed biology, and it all started with a glowing jellyfish. Since then, researchers have found fluorescent proteins in many other marine organisms, including corals and other jellyfish species, expanding the toolkit available to scientists. But Aquaria victoria and its green glow remain the foundation, the original source that opened up entirely new ways of seeing life at the cellular level. There is something poetic about this. An ancient creature that has drifted through the oceans for hundreds of millions of years, surviving mass extinctions and enormous environmental changes, has given humanity one of its most powerful research tools. The jellyfish wasn't trying to help us, of course. The fluorescent protein probably serves some purpose in its own life, perhaps in prey detection or communication. But by studying these creatures, by being curious about how they work, we've gained insights that have advanced medicine, agriculture, and our understanding of life itself. Jellyfish have also caused significant problems for humans, though unintentionally. Large blooms of jellyfish can clog intake pipes at power plants and desalination facilities, shutting down operations. In '99, A massive jellyfish bloom forced the shutdown of a nuclear power plant in the Philippines when jellyfish clogged the cooling system. Similar incidents have occurred in Japan, Israel, and other countries. The jellyfish don't mean any harm. They're simply responding to favorable conditions by reproducing rapidly. But when billions of them swarm into coastal waters, they become an engineering problem. They also affect fisheries by eating fish eggs and larvae, competing with fish for food, and sometimes filling fishing nets with gelatinous masses that are difficult and expensive to deal with. In some regions, jellyfish blooms have devastated local fishing industries, not by eating the adult fish, but by consuming the juveniles that would have become the next generation. As ocean conditions continue to change, as temperatures rise and acidity increases, jellyfish might become even more prominent. They tolerate these changes better than many fish species do, giving them a competitive advantage in the oceans of the future. Understanding them, learning to manage their populations, and perhaps even learning to use them as resources will become increasingly important in the decades ahead. Living in a changing ocean, jellyfish have survived for over 500 million years by being remarkably adaptable. But they're now facing changes that are happening faster than anything in their evolutionary history. At the same time, they're better equipped than most marine animals to handle many of these changes, which is why jellyfish blooms are becoming more common and more problematic. Climate change is warming the oceans, and warmer water generally favors jellyfish. Many species thrive in higher temperatures, reproducing faster and growing larger in warm conditions. Fish, on the other hand, often struggle as temperatures rise, particularly if the warming causes oxygen levels to drop. Warmer water holds less dissolved oxygen than cold water, and many fish species need substantial oxygen levels to survive. Jellyfish, which absorb oxygen directly through their skin and have lower metabolic demands, can tolerate low oxygen conditions that would kill fish. This tolerance for hypoxia, the scientific term for low oxygen, gives jellyfish a huge advantage in polluted or warming waters. When agricultural runoff causes algae blooms that subsequently die and decompose, consuming oxygen in the process, the resulting dead zones can be lethal to most marine life. But jellyfish swim through them with little trouble, sometimes in greater numbers because their competitors and predators have fled or died. Ocean acidification, another consequence of rising carbon dioxide levels, affects many marine animals by making it harder to build shells and skeletons. Corals, mollusks, and crustaceans all struggle in more acidic water. But jellyfish, with their soft, gelatinous bodies free of hard parts, are largely unaffected. They don't need to build calcium carbonate structures, so the chemistry of the water matters less to them. Overfishing has removed many of the jellyfish's predators and competitors. Large fish that once ate jellyfish are now rare in many areas, their populations depleted by industrial fishing. This reduces predation pressure on jellyfish, allowing their populations to grow unchecked. At the same time, removing fish that compete with jellyfish for food gives jellyfish access to more resources. Human infrastructure has inadvertently provided ideal habitat for jellyfish polyps. Docks, piers, oil platforms, artificial reefs, And even plastic debris floating in the ocean provide hard surfaces where polyps can settle and grow. These structures didn't exist historically, but now they're everywhere, dramatically increasing the available habitat for the polyp stage of the jellyfish life cycle. More polyp habitat means more juvenile jellyfish being released, which means larger adult populations. The result of all these factors is that jellyfish blooms, or jellyfish outbreaks, are becoming more common worldwide. These blooms occur when conditions are perfect and jellyfish populations explode, sometimes increasing 1,000-fold in a matter of weeks. The water becomes thick with jellyfish, so many that they form a continuous mass covering square kilometers of ocean. These blooms can have dramatic effects. They consume enormous amounts of zooplankton, fish eggs, and larvae. They clog fishing nets, making it impossible to catch fish even if fish are present. They disrupt tourism when beaches become unsafe for swimming. They stress or shut down power plants and desalination facilities. They can even affect the climate by consuming so much carbon-rich prey that they alter the ocean's carbon cycle. Some scientists worry that we're entering an era of jellyfish dominance, that overfished, polluted, warming oceans might become jellyfish oceans, with far fewer fish and far more gelatinous predators. There are historical precedents for this. The Black Sea underwent a dramatic shift when overfishing and pollution allowed jellyfish populations to explode, fundamentally changing the ecosystem. Namibia's fishing industry collapsed partly due to jellyfish taking over after the fish populations were decimated. But it's not all bad news. Jellyfish are also indicators of ocean health. Because they respond quickly to changing conditions, studying jellyfish populations can tell us about what's happening in the ocean more broadly. Increasing jellyfish might be an early warning sign of ecosystem problems, a canary in the coal mine signaling that conditions are degrading. And jellyfish themselves might be part of the solution to some of our problems. Research into jellyfish mucus has shown that it can filter microplastics from water, potentially offering a biological solution to plastic pollution. The immortal jellyfish's ability to reverse aging might lead to breakthroughs in regenerative medicine and life extension. Jellyfish collagen has medical applications. Their fluorescent proteins have revolutionized research. These ancient creatures might hold keys to solving modern problems. Jellyfish also play important roles in carbon cycling. When they die, their bodies sink, carrying carbon to the deep sea where it can be sequestered for centuries or longer. In some regions, jellyfish might be significant contributors to the biological carbon pump, helping remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and lock it away in ocean sediments. The truth is, we're still learning about jellyfish and their place in ocean ecosystems. For most of scientific history, they were largely ignored, seen as floating nuisances rather than important ecological players. Only recently have researchers begun to appreciate how central they are to ocean food webs, how much they affect nutrient cycling, how they interact with other species in complex ways. As our understanding grows, we're realizing that jellyfish are neither villains nor victims. They're survivors, adapted to take advantage of whatever conditions they encounter. If we create conditions that favor them through pollution, overfishing, and climate change, they'll thrive. If we want different ocean ecosystems, ones with more fish and less gelatin, we need to address the underlying problems we've created. The jellyfish are just responding to the world we've made now. Drifting towards sleep. And so we've drifted together through the secret life of jellyfish, from their ancient origins to their possible futures, from the smallest venomous specks to giants trailing tentacles longer than school buses, from transparent ghosts in shallow seas to glowing beacons in the abyss. We've watched them hunt and be hunted, seen them glow in darkness, marveled at their ability to cheat death and renew themselves, and considered their complex relationship with humanity and the changing ocean. 500 million years of survival, 20,000 generations of humans have lived and died since jellyfish first began drifting through Earth's oceans. Empires have risen and fallen. Continents have moved. Ice ages have come and gone. Species beyond counting have evolved, flourished, and vanished into extinction. And through it all, through every change and catastrophe, jellyfish have persisted. They've adapted, diversified, and endured, these simple creatures made mostly of water, with no brains to think, or hearts to pump, or bones to give them structure. There's something profound in that persistence, something that speaks to the power of simplicity, the elegance of flexibility, the strength of adaptability. Jellyfish remind us that survival doesn't always require complexity. Sometimes the most enduring solutions are the most basic ones, refined over eons into something that works, that persists, that succeeds not through force, but through fitting perfectly into the world as it is. As you drift towards sleep, think about these creatures still out there, still pulsing through the darkness, still hunting with their elegant traps of stinging tentacles, still glowing in the deep places where human eyes rarely see. They're living their ancient lives right now, this very moment, as they have for longer than trees have grown, or insects have flown, or flowers have bloomed. They were here before almost anything else, and they'll likely be here long after many other species have faded into memory. There's comfort in that continuity, in knowing that some things persist, that some forms of life have found strategies so successful they've barely needed to change across incomprehensible stretches of time. The jellyfish don't worry about the future. They don't plan or scheme or stress about tomorrow. They simply are, drifting on currents, pulsing through water, responding to stimuli with elegant simplicity, alive in the most basic and beautiful sense of the word. And perhaps there's a lesson there for us, as we close our eyes and let go of the day. Perhaps we too can drift for a while, let go of complexity, release our grip on planning and control, and simply float in the current of the moment. Like jellyfish in the vast ocean, we can trust that we're held by something larger, that we're part of patterns and cycles that will continue with or without our conscious effort. That sometimes the best thing to do is simply pulse gently and drift. The atoms in your body have been through this journey before, you know. The oxygen you breathe was once in the ocean, dissolved in water that passed through the bodies of jellyfish millions of years ago. The carbon in your cells cycled through countless marine creatures, perhaps including ancient jellyfish that drifted through Cambrian seas when life was young. You're connected to these creatures, to all life, through the elements that make us all, through the air we breathe and the water we're mostly made of. So rest easy tonight, knowing you're part of something ancient, something that endures. Let your breathing slow like the pulse of a jellyfish bell. Let your thoughts drift like tentacles trailing through dark water. Let yourself become buoyant, weightless, suspended between waking and sleep like a translucent creature suspended between surface and depths. The jellyfish will still be there tomorrow, and the day after, and 1,000 years from now, pulsing through oceans under stars that haven't changed, following patterns older than memory. And that constancy, that continuity, that quiet persistence through unimaginable time is somehow reassuring. Some things endure. Some things continue. Some things are so well adapted to existence that they simply persist age after age in elegant simplicity. If you're still awake and enjoyed this journey through the secret life of jellyfish, I'd really appreciate if you could take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the Sleepy Science Society. It helps other people find these gentle explorations, helps build this community of curious minds who love learning as they drift toward rest. You can also check out other videos on the channel, each one a different journey through science, nature, art, and cosmic wonder, all designed to accompany you into peaceful sleep. But for now, let go. Let the day fade like sunlight fading in deep water. Let your worries drift away like particulates settling toward the ocean floor. Let yourself become like a jellyfish, simple, present, existing without effort, pulsing gently with the rhythm of life itself. The ocean is vast and dark and full of wonders we're only beginning to understand. And somewhere out there, in waters deep or shallow, warm or cold, a jellyfish is drifting, pulsing, hunting, living, continuing a story that began when Earth was young. It doesn't know about you, about humans, about all our complexity and concern. It simply exists, perfectly adapted, elegantly simple, beautifully alive. And maybe, just for tonight, you can be a little more like a jellyfish, not worried about tomorrow, not dwelling on yesterday, just here now, floating in the gentle current of the present moment, pulsing softly with breath, translucent and unburdened, drifting peacefully toward dreams. Good night, gentle explorer. May your sleep be deep and undisturbed like the slow drift through ocean depths. May your dreams be filled with bioluminescent wonder. And may you wake tomorrow refreshed, curious, and ready to explore more of this beautiful, mysterious world we're all loading through together. Sleep well.